Well, how are you, YouTubers? This video here, I don't even know what I want to title it. I'm loaded with caffeine. I'm going to be up for a little bit. It's 11:25 here in Pittsburgh, so I figured I'd make this video. Something that was on my mind today when you think about, when I think about the stuff that people on YouTube that have been coming onto my channel say to me, and I've deleted a lot of those sayings. Mixing that with what I actually experience from day to day, and I live my life, and I'm not saying this to put black people down. I'm not saying this to make white people think that I'm trying to, step up or anything like that. I'm saying this right here because it's a fact in my life. One day in my life, I decided to really think about what the point is of a lot of so-called blackness. Now, I've done videos, more than one of them, on the term blackness. I don't understand the point. We're the only ones as black people that act the way we do. If I want to even say we is kind of making a racist statement, because it's not we. It's a certain majority of us, depending on what part of the world you're talking about and what money level, neighborhood, city, state you're talking about. But my question to you today, and I'm not really so much talking to white people, I'm talking to more black people, and I'm talking to Christians, because I know what white people say. I hear it on my channel. I've heard it, and I've read it in articles. Now, I have not actually had a white person tell me to my face the answer to this question, his answer to this question. But I have heard it online, and I've read it in articles online. My question is black a curse? My answer is no. Even though, no, even though, no, even though. Even though what? Even though black folks act the way they do. Even though black people may be committing the most crimes in the country, in this country anyway. Even though black folks are the ones that are most dependent on government benefits, I think. That's not my statistics. I'm just assuming. You can say whatever you want to say about that. I don't know. I'm just assuming that blacks are the most dependent on government assistance. Blacks are the most dependent on, somebody else to, what do you call it? Pick up behind them, so to speak. Figure of speech. And I'm not saying this to if you, like I'll say in every video, if the shoe fits, wear it. If it doesn't, then I'm not talking to you. Just like the people that come to my, channel and they commentate. Okay, I'm not wearing those shoes, and I'm only going to delete you. See, it rhymes. I'm not wearing those shoes and I'm only going to delete you. Don't come to my channel with your hate, okay? Because you didn't like me being honest about Colin Flaherty and, you didn't like me as a black man having anything to say, and then some of these racists are atheists, and that's my next video. I'm gonna leave that for the next video. I got two things coming at me at one time, but actually it's really one thing coming at me at one time because it all comes together. But that's another video. But is black a curse? A lot of white people would say yes, it is a curse. It's a curse on black folks, and it's a curse to any nation. Well, go over to England and tell the black folks or the white folks over there that blacks are a curse. Tell the Chinese that blacks are a curse in China. Tell the Japanese, tell the Russians, tell they're only a curse to you and the foreigners in this country. Why aren't they a problem in Russia? Why aren't they a problem in Germany? I know what you're going to say, because there's not that many of them. Well, okay. If you're a curse, why do you need that many? A curse is a curse. Whether you multiply or whether you just have, one. Curse is a curse. And a curse just takes off and creates more curses. The thing is, I don't believe blacks are a curse, because I'm not a curse. If it was this that makes anybody a curse, I would be a curse. And I'm not a curse, I'm a blessing. Let me tell this to the black folks out there, give you a little bit of self-esteem. I'm not a curse, I'm a blessing. Are you a curse or are you a blessing? Okay. And let me tell you something else, and this is the one thing that even in the unified church, white folks refuse to ever talk about it. Now don't get me wrong. I've seen preachers preach on this. White preachers, white pastors, white ministers, white bishops, whatever. I've seen them preach on this. But one thing everybody needs to understand, unless you can prove otherwise, first off, where'd you come from? Follow your DNA all the way back to its beginning and tell me where you came from. See, whether you came from the biblical version of humanity or whether you believe in evolution, okay, it all takes us back to Africa, white folks. It all takes us back to Africa. Okay. If you believe in the biblical account, which I believe that Adam was I believe that Adam and Eve were the mother and the father of all humanity. And where was the Garden of Eden at? Where was it located at? Ding. Okay. In Africa. In that part of the world. On that continent. Okay. Now, if you believe in evolution, which apes came out first? Because they were in Africa. Apes come from Africa. So what color was the first apes that came out? So that's another video too. My point is, if blacks were a curse, everybody would act like blacks. If blacks were a curse, everybody would be cursed and act just like blacks. but they don't. Thank God. Oh my goodness. Thank God. Oh Lord. I'm so glad that we live in a colorful world. If everybody was black, I think I'd shoot myself. But if everybody was white, I think I'd shoot myself too. But God knows. Thank God. Oh God. I mean, so I love black people, but sometimes I got to get away from y'all, man. I really do. I mean, like these bus rides. I wish there was no. Sometimes I wish. Forget that back of the bus thing, because they tear. You can hear them back there. I mean, don't tell black folks to move to the back of the bus. Don't let them on the bus. Oh God. Don't let them on the bus. Don't let them drive the bus. I have to call Port Authority and tell Port Authority about these bus drivers that are getting carried away. They're hot rodding these buses. They're driving these buses like, there's no tomorrow. They're driving these buses like they're sports cars. Okay. Meanwhile, people are falling all over each other on the buses. They don't care. And then they're like slamming on the brakes when they stop, and everybody's falling over and falling forward and falling backwards and everything. And a certain majority of these people are black. I don't know what it is with black folks and the rules. The rules tell you to drive the bus a certain way. And yeah, I know Port Authority gets on your case because you have to make your deadlines. And you got all this traffic and you have to make your deadlines, and a mix of all this traffic and all these handicapped people and all these people moving slow and all this stuff. But you can't drive like a maniac, okay, and then call yourself, just doing your job and meeting your deadlines. Come on, man. Eventually somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get killed. But why is the majority of anybody that hates to follow the rules, why are they always black? But I don't believe that is the curse. I believe it's what you do that is a curse. I believe what black people did that was wrong, and we have a bad reputation for it, is first of all how we handle racism. From the day that we started to fight back. Now, a lot of black folks, they think that if you say that we were supposed to do anything other than use our fists to fight back, that's not really fighting back. But, yes, you're fighting back. Who did Martin Luther King hit? Okay? Martin Luther King never hit anybody. He never punched anybody. He never called nobody a whitey or anything, or, a cracker or anything. He never put his hands on a white person. He marched. He stood up for what was right, but he never touched anybody, And he was doing fine until he got shot. But you say, oh, well, see, that's why he got shot, because, well, wait a minute. What about all the black folks today that are getting shot by cops that are standing up and fighting for their so-called rights and getting shot and killed? Okay, Martin Luther King supposedly, if it's true, got killed by one of his own people. That's what they say. Coming from two different sides of the track, that's what they both say. That he was killed by his own people. He wasn't killed by a white man. Okay? But you blacks that think you're so tough today, you're getting shot by cops. You're getting shot by Asians. You're getting shot by store owners and all this kind of stuff. And, we as black people, we have a bad reputation. We have a bad reputation. You know, especially um, you know, depending on where people, depending on where you're at, and what you do. And what am I saying? I'm saying that, first of all, we have a bad reputation. Second of all, the only people that see past that reputation are people that have experience seeing a different side of that reputation and understanding. You know what I'm saying? You see black people working, you need to breathe and think. You see black people being trusted to do certain jobs and handle responsibilities, and that's what I've seen today. You need you need to breathe and think. You need to stop, breathe, and think. Okay, that's a different black person than them knuckleheads that was just on the bus. That's a different black person than the ones that I'm afraid of. The ones that I'm afraid, that might do some harm to me, as well as the ones that are on the Colin Flaherty. I have to say Flaherty because I have a hard time saying Flaherty. Colin Flaherty. I don't know how to pronounce. I can't. H2. Whatever. Flaherty. Flaherty. I guess that's it. Flaherty. Flaherty. Whichever. Flaherty. Flaherty. I'm doing better than that Asian dude that tried to tell us he lost the keys tonight, okay? He sounded like a lion roaring at the zoo. I didn't know what that boy was talking about. I said, what did he say? Oh, he lost the keys. Come on, man. Give me a break. I'm doing better than him. Anyway, black folks, we have a bad reputation. And it would take years. See, I believe this. I believe that if black folks had never invested a certain amount of time into crime, we wouldn't have such a bad reputation. If black folks hadn't uh, created all these children, or I'm sorry, birthed all these children, okay, and weren't able to take care of them, and they raise these kids in the ghetto, and these kids grow up and become thugs, I don't think we would have such a bad reputation. When white people come up with these crazy, silly ideas about what black people are all about, where'd they get that from? Are they blaming us what the Native Americans are doing? Excuse me. Are they blaming us for what the Asians are doing or what the Spanish are doing? Where are they getting this from? You know, it is racist. It sounds racist, but how does I'm listening to my commentators and they got a point. Where did they get that from? They don't say that to Asians. They don't say that to the Arabs. Well, I'm so sick and tired of you collecting welfare. I'm sick and tired of you go collect your welfare. Where'd they get that from? They got that from the history of black folks collecting welfare. Okay? And some of them, yeah, you're right. I don't pay them no mind because they're just jealous because for some reason they haven't been able to collect welfare. But I understand the agony, the sick and tiredness, so to speak, of white folks when they get sick and tired of black folks always lagging behind. They don't never want to catch up. That's the curse right there. The bad reputation you have created a curse for yourselves, black folks, because you refuse to catch up. You refuse to evolve, as I've said in other videos. I choose to evolve, but a lot of black folks choose to not evolve. Okay? Evolve means to progress gradually, right along with everybody else. But no, we're lagging behind. We don't want to keep up. We think that, we can be game changers. We can change the rules because we can't keep up. So we'll just change the rules. No. You got to keep up like everybody else. That's where the curse is at. The curse is not in this. Because I'm looking at white folks, like I said in another video, I'm looking at white folks up in this ghetto that don't act any better. They're lagging behind. They're lacking education. They're lacking jobs. Don't want to get a job. Okay? I'm running into white folks like this. Okay? And I was almost willing to call myself an Uncle Tom until I realized that, wait a minute. First of all, I'm telling the truth about black folks. And second of all, white folks do it too. They just don't do it in those high numbers, but they do it too. Okay? Wherever there is poor, okay, and those that don't know how to be poor, those that don't know how to survive being poor. I've been homeless, I've been poor, but I've never ever let homelessness and being poor or anything like that shape my personality or shape my behavior. I've always been content with evolving, trying to evolve. And, let's get real. It's too late in the game to say that, oh, I'm just going to jump out there and keep up. I'm just going to jump out there and be like everybody else. No, you're not. It's too late for that. Maybe if our kids could tell themselves right now while they're young, I'm going to do better than my father. I'm going to do better than my black mother, my black father. Okay, maybe they have a chance to evolve better. But if they look at us and get discouraged, then they're not, and they think that we shouldn't expect them to do better than us. Then that's where they're at. They're not going to do better. And it just keeps on going in a cycle. But the curse is not in this. The curse is in refusing to fight the good fight. It's refusing to understand what it is and what needs to be done and doing it. That's, the curse. And after you've done all that, you see what needs to be done, you understand what needs to be done, so you do it. Okay? Then you can sit there and point the finger and call this and that racist. But while you're refusing to be who you need to be, you're refusing to grow as an adult. You're refusing to evolve. You're refusing to make more money. Okay? Just like everybody else, doing whatever they need to do to make enough for them and their families so that they can live the life that they, at least a life that's good enough for them. If you can't live the life that you really want. But no, we would rather not struggle Like, you don't think white people struggle? I know white people that do. You don't think white people struggle to get to where they're at? But we would rather not struggle, not fight to get, you know, financially and spiritually, I'm saying, emotionally, intellectually, to get to where we need to be. And so what do? We blame others and claim, you know, that there's some race in there. There's some racism going on in there. There's some profiling going on there. It's somebody else's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. Do what you're supposed to do first. And then you can point the finger after you're, you know, created your credentials. You know, you put yourself in a predicament on an experience level and on a, you know, struggle level where you struggle just like anybody else does to get to where you're at. Okay? Do that first. And then you can point the finger and say, oh, well, this is racist, and this is this, and this is that. That's that. But the curse is not in this. If the curse was in this, oh my God, there'd be more white people doing dumb things than there are. There'd be more Asian people. There'd be more people of every race doing crazy and dumb things. It wouldn't be just us if it was a curse, because everybody comes from us. Say hello to your daddy, because everybody comes from us. If everybody don't come from us, you better find, even if you want to go to some evolution, which I don't believe in it, but if you really look at it, even evolution shows you that everybody comes from us. Okay? Unless you want us to believe that the white man came out, created everybody, and then somehow the black folks all migrated to Africa. Okay? See, people, you know, see what I'm saying? You that's another video, but how do we stop the curse? I think the way we stop the curse is we need to get right with God. You know, black folks come from the lands where it all started. The lands where it all started. And I think that God expects black folks as well as the Jews. But the Jews, you know, they haven't allowed themselves to fall, you know, by the wayside, so to speak. They haven't allowed themselves to fall off, to be cut off, only by the Lord, but they haven't allowed themselves as citizens of their own country and as immigrants in this country. They have not allowed themselves to become ghetto. They have not allowed themselves to be the tail. You know, they are fighting their way to be the head, and depending on what we're talking about, they are the head. Okay, and they have evolved. Those Jews in this country, I've been to many Jewish so-called neighborhoods, if you want to call them that. They have evolved. Okay, they come from the same situation. And that's another video too. What was going on between them two countries at the same time. But this was just bugging me today. You know, the weather's getting nice out there, and you know, working a job and, I'm pretty, I'm seeing, you know, that mixture at the moment of potential black folks and the black folks that are screwing things up. Those are two different classifications of black people. And white people can say what they want to say. But go to UPMC. UPMC is opening up jobs. And there ain't no way when you're working for UPMC, can you sit there and say that UPMC discriminates? Because it doesn't. I've seen more black folks working for UPMC than I've seen exist. But anyway, praise the Lord. This is not the curse. We're not a curse because of this. We don't have low IQs, so to speak, as some people are saying because of this. There is nothing in your pigment that makes you an idiot. God didn't create any idiots. God created man upright, as the Bible says, and man has sought out after many schemes. Like I said in the last video I just did, alternatives, because he doesn't want to listen to God. For some of y'all got away with that, and y'all still get the White House with the picket fence, but some of us, we did that, and it seems like we got cursed. Everybody doesn't sin against God and get to live happy. Some of us, we sin against God, and it just makes everything messed up for us. And I'm not saying that it's okay for white folks to sin against God and it's bad for black folks to do it. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that when you don't do what's right, okay, depending on what your background is, will determine how your sin will find you out. If you're white and you have a wealthy potential background, when you sin, your sin won't, run you in the ground as much as when a black man who should be learning because he has nothing, he's got nothing to offer, he has nothing, and you have the nerve to sin, you have nerve to live like a simple pervert, a simple thug, when you got nothing. That kind of living's going to really, for you, it's going to really turn around and bite you in the face. It really is. It's going to mess up your whole program. So, my answer to white folks is no. Black folks are not a curse. My answer to black folks is please stop acting like a curse, because that's not what you were meant to be. God bless you. If this video helps anybody at all, and I'm not just talking to white folks, I'm not talking to all the commentators that hate me, that I'm probably going to delete. I'm talking to people who say that this is a curse, and I'm talking to those who live like this is a curse when it's not. So I will talk to you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching.